Hello, beach friends. It's time for a beach walk, and we are headed to my favorite beach, Fort Myers Beach. I love Fort Myers. It's beautiful. It has all the shells I like, but it also has critters. And so it gives us a great opportunity to also kind of check out some of the things that live down at the beach. We're going to see sand dollars, urchins, some dolphins, all sorts of really cool, fun, beachy things. So if you're ready, let's go find some beachy goodness. Okay, here we are at Fort Myers Beach. All the way at the south end. I typically kind of start a little bit more north, but I'm going backwards this time and just starting at the south end and working my way up. Here we have a reddish egret, also taking a morning stroll. Hello, friend. Water is nice and clear, so hopefully it'll be easy for us to spot. Whoop, there was something there in the water. Spot critters and shells and whatnot. I did bring my scoop just in case. So the first thing we come upon is a 9-armed sea star. These guys are so cool. They have a water vascular system that provides hydraulic pressure to move all those little tiny tube feet. See them moving there? Now those tube feet help them pull apart clams, and they kind of stick their stomach in and eat them. But I also want to check out, look, it's regenerating its arms. Something, I don't know, that broke off, ate it, I don't know, somehow, but it's regenerating those arms, which is kind of cool. There's another one. You can kind of see him cruising along, also kind of with misshaped size arms. Looks like he might have lost some and they're regenerating. Very cool creature. All right, first critter down. Now let's look for some other stuff. Okay, the shells, they're here. Right in this particular part of the beach, they're just really tiny. Not much to really hunt through, so we'll just keep walking. I did find this, a broken moon snail. Womp womp. Doesn't have a drill hole, but still, I'll leave that for somebody else. All right, here's another little treasure marker. Here is a piece of a crown conch. With any luck, maybe we'll find one of those. I like the pieces because it tells me at least those creatures are here. Those shells are here somewhere. Here we have an Atlantic white simile. Fun little shell, even though I think they should have called it pink and white. Here we go. Now we're looking at some beach stuff. There's 2 different rack lines here. Let's check out. Okay, pieces of urchins. All right, maybe we'll find some whole ones. Let's see. There's another piece. They're so pretty. Yep, there's a couple more pieces. I'll just keep moseying along. There's another piece. Now these are from a short-spined sea urchin, and we're going to get to see some live ones too, which is actually pretty cool. So we'll keep looking. Yep, another piece. All right, they're here. Just a matter of finding one that's whole. Oh, I spied a turkey wing, and it only turned out to be just a piece. Oh well. There we go. There's a whole urchin. Ew. Ew. I didn't know what that was. It's possible it's a maggot. I don't know because, there were a lot of flies. They're helpful. They clean up the beach and make sure that nothing goes to waste, but I found that to be kind of gross. So I was hoping I would find some urchins that didn't have little creepy crawlies on it. There was a little creepy crawly inside that one. All right, it's in pretty good shape though. We'll just keep looking. Here we go. Here's a nice pile. Let's see if any of them are whole. Do they have? Okay. Sans creepy crawlers. All right, cool. So it can get kind of nasty if you've got dead stuff on the beach. But It did not smell. There was no real smell. I mean, there is obviously things decaying here, but if they've been left out long enough, they tend to kind of get dried up. And I guess those gross, creepy crawlies kind of help clean them up. All right, so I chose these three. I cleaned them up. Well, they were already pretty darn clean, but I just kind of washed them off a bit, make sure that there wasn't too many other little critters coming along with me, and I decided to hold on to those. And I will eventually seal those with 1 part glue and 1 part water. What do we, oh, the littlest little moon snail, little shark eye. Doesn't even have a drill hole. Very cool. All right. There's more stuff up here. I definitely see more urchins. An egg casing. All right. It's time. Stick with me to the very end because we're going to take a look at what is inside some of those egg casings. That is an egg casing from a pear whelk. So like I said, stick with me to the very, very end. Oh, here we have a paper fig, half of a paper fig. They're really quite delicate just to begin with, so not surprised to find that one not intact. And look at all the grass that's grown here. This area is kind of cornered off to allow the birds to have their peace and quiet without people bothering them. So lots of skimmers this time of year. I'll show you some of those a little bit later too. Here's a piece of a crown conch, not intact, but again, a clue. Hopefully we'll find some other ones. An apple murex. Very cool. All right, it's got some beach stuff, but that can be remedied with a dental pick. That kind of beach stuff will pick right off. Very cool, apple murex. All right, I see another something down there. A juvenile Florida fighting conch. I did bring my scooper because it kind of makes my arm a lot longer and I can kind of get at the goodies. It's all spiky and awesome. Yay! All right, I spied something else. It's just, it's a piece of a Florida fighting conch. Okay, there was something, but that's all it was, just a piece. Now here we have another little critter. See that crab in there? It's kind of hiding. That one, I think that's a squatter pea crab. I think, don't necessarily quote me on that, but I do like to at least try to figure out what these cool things I'm finding are. All right, I know the water's really ripply, but I see pink. Yep, rose petal talon. People have said they have a hard time finding these, and I find them all the time. Another white Atlantic semele. Cool. All right, looks like I might see a Florida fighting conch, that little orange triangle there. Yep, very cool. There's a Florida fighting conch. Just kind of admiring. All right, deciding am I going to keep it or not? And I'm going to keep it. Oh, there's another one. Oh, that's lovely. Not perfect, but still, I can't resist those Florida fighting conchs. And another. Now this one couldn't quite decide whether it wanted to be knobless or not. So on this side, it's kind of got a couple knobs, but nothing on this side. So I don't half knobbed. I couldn't quite decide, I guess. And another rose petal talon, complete with a little drill hole. That is probably how that poor little critter met its demise. And a spiny jewel box. It's pretty spiny. Not the spiniest one I've ever seen, but he's got some good spikes on there. Oh, pretty pink on the inside. Then we have a lovely spiny jewel box. All right, we got rippling water. Okay, big old sunray Venus. Oh dear. Well, we've got like a slipper farm going on here. So way too much living things going on. So I'm just going to return that back to the sea. Here's another one. This is a different one. All right, just merely a hotel, not a whole farm. A couple of those slipper snails. And I'll show you what those look like once they have deceased. We will find a couple of empty ones. Good old trusty scoop, just in case. Always good to have the equipment. So I'm kind of going back and forth because there is stuff on the beach. I'm afraid I'm going to miss stuff that's in the water. So I'm kind of trying to cover as much as possible. So obviously I'm back on the beach. It is a broad-ribbed cardita. Here we have a Florida prickly cockle. That lovely purple on the inside. There's a broken channel duck clam. Another one of those white similes. And some slipper. There we go. That's a slipper. That's a spotted slipper snail. So they only really have one shell, and they just kind of stick themselves onto other things and each other. Okay, a disc Dosenia. I love those beautiful like ridges in it. The record player ridges, beautiful. All right, I see that rose petal talon there. While I'm here, might as well. Oh, that one also has a drill hole. I wanted to use that for jewelry. It's already got a hole in it. And here's another slipper. So it's just the one side, and they kind of adhere to other shells, to each other. Some of them can be quite lovely. And a channeled duck clam. This guy does not have a hole in it. They're also known as sailor's ears, elephant ears. Some of these shells have quite a few names. A calico scallop. Looks like it probably soaked up a little bit of beach color, making it gray instead of white. Now, this guy, I thought it was interesting because it was hinged, and I was trying to figure out what it is, and I thought maybe an alternate talon, but I don't know that it's the right shape. I think clam, I don't know, some sort of hinged white shell. Let me know if you know what that is. Leave a note in the comments for me. That one's easy. That is a yellow prickly cockle. Not to be confused with the Florida prickly cockle. I find the Florida ones much more often than the yellow ones. Beautiful. Isn't that weird? It's beautiful on the underside. That side, it's cool. I like the prickly stuff part. And kind of shells with texture, kind of cool. All right, so this is a hinged calico clam, and it does look like there is some residual body of the clam in there, so I'm going to clean that up real good because I do want to keep it. So I'll clean that up and bring it home. So we're scanning. Here's another Distocenia. There's a giant Atlantic cockle. Lots of pieces, so there's definitely shells here. And this is about a little over a week after Elsa had come through. So maybe it's residual. Oh dear. Yeah, it's a sand dollar with all sorts of stuff going on. So I figured, well, let me just check it out. But that is not something I'm going to keep. Lots of other stuff. A top snail. Cool. There's a jujube top snail. Very cool little find, and it's in great shape. All right, I'm going to be quiet for a minute and give you guys beach time. So yes, I am definitely enjoying myself. It is a lovely morning. All right, got a piece of a top of a lightning whelk. Another piece. Yeah, shark eye. Just a piece. Another one of those yellow prickly cockles. Very yellow. I'll probably keep that. Well, this is really cool. That's a sunray Venus, but its colors are all wonky. It's very pink. I like that. I'm going to keep that guy. Here is some of that nacre, that mother of pearl from a pen shell. And this is just a broad rib cardita, but I thought it would, seeing it all dark, look at those nice ridges on it. These shells are very underrated. I really do like those the broad-ribbed cardita. Okay, scallop. That's pretty. It's one of those calico scallops. And then there's another yellow prickly cockle kind of screaming at me. Ooh, it's super yellow. Oh, I'm definitely keeping that one. Very cool. All right, there's a bay scallop. I've seen them in better shape. Still fun to find. All right, there is another prickly cockle. A couple bivalves, and I'm gonna keep that yellow prickly cockle. Piece of coral. All right, this is called thin-fingered coral. Okay, another calico scallop. Definitely fun things on the beach. Let's see what kind of fun things are in the water. What? Cool. All right, not great color. It's a little broken, but that's a cone. And cones are not easy to come by, so I'm definitely going to keep that. Ooh, the bright color on that. That is a West Indian worm snail. Nice orange color. Love the twirly shape. And I thought this was an olive, but it's an enormous bubble. Well, at least for the bubbles that we find down here. That is huge. Big old bubble. Oh, I see something rolling around in the water there. Yes, a colorful moon snail. It does need to spend some time with the bleach, but awesome. I love when the shells are just kind of rolling in the water there. Love it. Oh, there's another. All right, here is a little lightning whelk. It's in great shape. Mighty little shell. I see something else. You guys see it? It's kind of hard because it's kind of monochromatic, but it's another gaudy nautica, colorful moon snail. Very cool. I spy a sand dollar. All right, let's see if it's a keeper. Oh, hello, lovely sand dollar. Okay, so this sand dollar is dead. It is completely smooth. You don't see any kind of spines, anything other than just the actual test, kind of the skeleton of the animal. That is safe to keep. If you find something like that, that is also a sand dollar. It's been damaged, but seems to repair itself. See all the spines? And typically they'll move. There is an absolute difference between the dead ones and the live ones. So if you see one that has stuff on it, any kind of hair, anything that's not making it smooth, put it back in the water because it's possibly alive. Ooh, another critter. Now here is one of those urchins that we saw earlier, but this is what it looks like when it is alive. This is a short spined sea urchin, and it also has that vascular hydraulic system, and it also has tube feet, which is how it's keeping those shells stuck to itself. So it does that on purpose. I find it hilarious. I think these guys are so very cool. So that is what they look like when they're alive. The short-spined sea urchin. All right, now this I scooped because I was pretty sure I saw one of the shells moving around, and sure enough, I picked one with a hermit crab in it. Now this is from a blue-eyed hermit crab. He's not coming out. I don't like to harass the wildlife. I was hoping he'd just kind of come out. We can say hi, and I'd put him back. So I picked him up. I see a couple other definite, the shell's not in great shape anyway, but I wanted to say hi to the critter. But he or she was not cooperating. So after a couple seconds, really, not really minutes, and put him back in the water. And then off they went. They were off and running. And what do we got here? Okay, an auger. And you really got to be careful when you pick the shells out of the water just to make extra sure there's no critters in there. There's an olive. The only critter I've ever seen in an olive is an actual olive, the alive creature. So those are typically okay. Just make extra sure. Oh dear. Yeah. That's a lightning whelk that has definitely seen better days. I'll leave that. Leave that for somebody else. Another piece of that thin-fingered coral. Very cool. I'm going to bleach that and see if I can get those discolorations off. Neato. Another rose petal talon. I'm telling you guys, they're all over the place. It's very easy to see that beautiful pink bubblegum color. Okay, and here's a mossy arc. It's broken, but they sure look a lot like turkey wings. I mean, they don't have that very distinct zigzag pattern, but they trip me up sometimes. And yeah, just a piece of a lightning whelk. See a shark eye. Yep. Oh, pretty shark eye. Nice and dark eye. It's got a tiny little chip, but that's in fantastic shape. That is lovely. A lovely shark eye. Another lettered olive. Okay, cool. Giving it the old shine test. It's kind of pointy. I'll keep that. Okay, there we go. There's a turkey wing, complete with its little wing part. So very cool. An olive and a turkey wing. Now there's a little auger. Check to make sure. Look. There is a little itty bitty crab in there. Little itty bitty inside a tiny little auger. We're going to talk about tinies again at the end of the video. But I wasn't kidding. You get definitely check your shells, especially in the water. Little tiny crab. Well, thanks for coming out and saying hi. We'll leave him back to do his crab thing. Ooh, a juvenile Florida fighting conch. I know it's a little chewed up, but it's so like spiky. That's beautiful. I'm going to try to clean that up with some bleach. And a piece, yeah, just a piece of the top of a lightning whelk. Pretty color. Another moon snail. All right, another gaudy nautica. It's not in great shape. Color's not great, but still, I'm still happy to find a gaudy nautica. I'm going to keep it. All right, so I thought maybe that is a big piece of a lightning whelk. And so the universe was telling me, go out there, go find that big whelk or that big horse conch. But it was not to be. So headed back to the shoreline and found a nice fat olive. He's kind of missing his top, but that's okay. Another sand dollar. Can you see that dark circle area there? I'm not going to disturb him because I can clearly tell, even from here, that that is alive. So I'll just leave that guy alone. Oh, well, I saw a shark eye, and that, that was a lovely shark eye at some point. Yeah, that was probably a lovely olive at some point. Ooh, ooh, yay, Florida cone. All right, not in perfect shape, but it's pretty good shape. I'm going to give that, yeah, 9 out of 10. I'm going to keep that. And another little auger with another little teeny weeny little crab in there. Not a keeper. So we'll just look at that lovely shell that we cannot keep. Say hi to the critter. It's already retreated all the way in there and put it back in the water. Okay, giant Atlantic cockle. It's kind of got all sorts of stuff going on. Yeah. We'll just admire it and put it back. Now this I thought was really cool. It's just an oyster, but I'd never seen one. It's kind of tiered. It's kind of not spiky, but a little bit lumpy, and I like the colors. So I don't normally collect oysters, but I collected that one. And another rose petal talon, complete with a little jewelry hole already in it. Florida fighting conch. It's not in great shape, so I'm that's what I'm typically doing, debating, checking it out. Am I going to keep it? Am I going to leave it? That one looks like a little bleach might help it, so we shall see. Another shark eye. Not in perfect, yeah, it's okay though. It's got a real pretty color. I'm going to keep it anyway. Another cone. What? Very cool. Another Florida cone. Again, not perfect. A solid 9 though. Nothing that little bleach hopefully can't take care of. Oh, bummer. That was or it is, that is an alphabet cone, but there's no color left. It's got a little head of seaweed, so we'll just leave that at the beach. Another lettered olive. Nice, intact, all shiny, complete with its little top. All right, cool. And a sunray Venus clam. Now this guy I thought was cool, or gal, because it was very pink. Typically they're much more of a brown color, but that one was very pink, like this one. So that one's really more the color that I'm used to seeing, and that one we saw previously. Well, let's look at them side by side. So you'll see that one on the left is much more brown. That one on the right is much more pink. And I thought that was interesting, so I kept them both. Okay, a banded tulip that has seen better days. Ooh, now it's beat up, but it was big. I mean, really big, compared to the ones that I typically size. And I really wanted to keep it, but it just had too much going on. And now, me from the beach. All right, I see a crown, I think a lightning whelk, and horse conchs, or not, a Florida fighting conch, so let's see. All right, my predictions were correct, at least on this one. Here is a crowned conch, not in great shape, but I'm bleaching it, and we'll see what happens. I think those shells are fabulous, so I'm definitely going to try to resurrect that one. This one is too far gone for me. It is a lightning whelk, but it's not in great shape. And finally, yes, there was a Florida fighting conch that is in terrible shape, so I'm definitely not going to keep that. But look at that one. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh, I thought that was stunning. Just beautiful colorings. It's nice and light. Definitely keeping that one. All right, another shark eye. Not in great shape. It's okay, But again, I'm still happy to see the shells. Back up on the beach, look at everywhere I turned, rose petal talons. And then, yep, sunray Venus and a surf clam. I'm just kind of checking things out. What do we got here? Oh, yeah, rather beat up. I think it was a Distocenia. Oh, and a hinged prickly cockle. That's kind of cool. So just checking out just to make sure. FOMS was real. The fear of missing shells was real. So I'm zigzagging back and forth, back and forth. So I'm kind of following this shell trail here. Someone said that there was a big old iguana on the beach. So I wanted to see if I could maybe check that out. Although I'm not typically a fan, especially if they're the invasive kind. It kind of bums me out. But there was a critter, I still kind of wanted to share it. Look at this day. Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, South Fort Myers Beach. You are awesome. All right, didn't find the iguana, but I did find another one of those short-spined sea urchins. Oh, look at him moving around. So cool. He's got 5 little pieces to his mouth in there. Aristotle's lantern. And now this I thought was super cool because it's kind of yellow. So that is another sunray Venus, but I like to appreciate all the differences in the shells, the size, the colors. That one I thought was really cool because it had like that yellow undertone. Another lettered olive. Fun little shell. A lightning whelk. All right. In pretty good shape. Cool. Oh dear. Now, I've never heard of Czech soda. So this was kind of interesting to me. Well, it was a bummer. I mean, I took it. I'm going to go ahead and recycle that. But I was kind of curious as to how old that was. And I tried to read the stamp on the bottom, and it looks like November 1990 something. I couldn't quite tell what that second digit was, but that is an old can. Another Florida fighting conch. Nice, lovely, hearty shell. All right, I spy something else. Oh, what a bummer. It's gorgeous, but it's a little chewed up. And some of those knobs are kind of broken off. Oh, I'm going to keep it anyway. See if I can clean it up a little bit. There's other stuff here. What do we got? All right, apple murex, most of an apple murex. We did find a whole one, so I'm gonna leave that one behind. What else? Another cone. Cool. But it's pretty beat up. And I did find a couple of other ones. So if I hadn't found those other ones, I might have kept it. But for today, I'm going to leave that one behind. Another cone. Oh, again, not in great shape. Like I said, I do have a couple other ones. So leave that behind. Now across the way there, in the distance, that's Lover's Key. So Lover's Key and South Fort Myers Beach are merely a pass away from each other. That's what they call the waterways in between these little islands. And the one between Fort Myers Beach and Lover's Key is Big Carlos Pass. That's we're making our way back that away. Another cone, and that, oh, awesome color on that one. Oh, very cool. So that one I'm gonna keep. And another sand dollar just kind of floating around there. Oh, it's so pretty and weathered. But I did find one of my own. So just in case there's somebody else hunting for one, I'm gonna leave that on the beach for them. And a little, all right, that is just a juvenile Florida fighting conch. I'm gonna keep it, use that for some sort of project or something. And look at this, the teeny tiny, that's another one of those jujube top snails, a very sandy top snail, little tiny beautiful golden guy. And a shark eye. All right, cool. It's relatively okay shape. He's got a drill hole, but I'm gonna keep it. And this is another slipper, but look it's a spiny slipper snail. Aren't that, I just think they're so cool. Anything spiky or just different. Again, textures, very interesting what nature can create. And that is a juvenile Florida fighting conch. Very cool. And the tiniest, look at tiny little moon snail. Little tiny shell. So people are out and about at this time of the day. I like to get out there early. I'm out there with the fisher people. But time to leave the beach. Before we do, we'll take a peek at those skimmers. They're so funny. Like their heads look like they're too big. They're awesome though. They kind of skim along the water's edge. Really cool. And please don't ever chase them. I'm just walking, trying not to disturb them, but don't chase the birds on the beach. And then right before we leave, I figure we get some dolphin time in. Dolphins do tend to hang out in this area, and you will see the boats and things, kind of pull up. I guess it doesn't disturb them that much because they're almost always here. Always fun to see the dolphins. So this is all the goodies we found. I kept 4 urchins and that 1 sand dollar. Found a couple of those prickly cockles. I can't resist the yellow ones. That hinged clam, the calico clam, a couple of those cool sunray Venus. Got some spiny jewel boxes, some coral, some gaudies, some shark eyes. The cones were really, really cool. That crown conch and the apple murex, a bunch of those rose petal talons. And then I'm going to try to clean up those Florida fighting conchs. We'll put those in bleach and we'll just see what happens. Now, if you stuck with me this far, let's see what's inside one of the egg casings. So that is the one I picked up from the beach. And then and that is a pear whelk casing. On the right, I have a lightning whelk and also another pear whelk casing. So I'm trying to shake it, but you didn't really hear it. Kind of let you hear that you can kind of hear things in there. And see those little dots in there moving around? Those are itty bitty little shells inside the casing. So those little specks there, those are little tiny baby pear whelks. And they are just minuscule. I mean, micro shells. Super tiny. So that's what it looks like compared to my big old finger. They're just the tiniest little things. Now let's take a look at the lightning whelk egg casing, and those shells are practically huge compared to the pear whelks. Again, they're super tiny. I can't even really handle them with my fingers. They're so small. And that one right there, that is a lightning whelk baby compared to the pear whelk babies. So it's like 3 times the size, which is just crazy because they're so tiny. And this is what they look like, kind of mixed in with sand. I mean, they are barely bigger than sand. And so I picked them all out with those little tweezers and put them in this little bottle. So they're like micro shells, but they're really just the babies from the egg casings. Now they were dried up when I removed them from the beach, so I knew that they weren't viable. And that's what I ended up with. So what a fun walk for me. I hope you guys had a fun time too. Thank you to all of you, and a special thank you to my Patreons who literally financially support me as I go out and do my adventures. Next week, I do plan on doing a little bit of traveling again. So we're going to see a brand new beach we haven't been to before. Fingers crossed it'll be as awesome as always. And you guys have yourself a good week. See you next Sunday.